Today on the Luke Branquinho Show,
the money has gotten so much better in rodeo, and with the Cowboy Channel, with rodeo on TV and more, it's becoming, it's not mainstream yet, but it's becoming more mainstream. Right now, Haven's on go with us, and we hope it stays that way. We wish him luck and hope his back keeps getting better.
Well, if for some reason Haven's not able to, you got a list of some stud stars that you could put up against Shad Mayfield. How do you keep yourself, I don't even know how to explain how busy you are.
Luke, it's every morning I wake up, it's pretty much a fire drill. But,
Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. My guest today is a man that wears many hats and has been in the Western industry for many, many years. Bart Hutton, thank you for joining me.
Luke, thanks for having me on the show today.
Absolutely. And I say a man of many hats because I'm going to list a long list of things that you are owners of, part of. Texas Farm Store, Texas Egg, H4 Ranches. You do insurance, and also Oasis Outback, which we're going to really hit on that here in a little bit. But how do you have time to do this next thing we're going to talk about, the South Texas Showdown?
That's a good question. My wife asks me that all the time. She goes, when are you going to slow down? She tells me it's self-inflicted, but I was like, I'm never going to slow down. That's just the way I am.
Well, that's like me, always keeping us busy, keeps us young, I guess you could say.
Right. Exactly right.
So let's talk a little bit about, well, actually, I want to talk a lot about this, the South Texas Showdown, October 20th through the 26th. This is the second year for this huge event down there in Uvalde.
Yeah, Luke, I don't know, a little over almost 2 years ago, we decided that, the thing that I wanted to do, I said, if we're going to do an event, I said, I want to make it the best event possible for the cowboys and cowgirls. No matter what we're going to do, we're going to make it where it's the best for them. And we set it up, and this was kind of a controversy at first, and was not meant to be at all. We set it up on the same weekend as the San Angelo Roping Fiesta. And I did that on purpose. Everybody thought I messed up. I did it on purpose because I swapped the dates. Our team did, not me, but our committee, we swapped the dates. So on Saturday, when San Angelo, when they rope calves, we trip steers. On Sunday, when they trip steers, we rope calves. We made it so where the contestants could make both big events on one weekend. You rodeo, you know how it is.
Yeah.
They're 3 hours apart. You get to go run it that much money, 3 hours apart in one weekend. That's great for the contestants.
Absolutely. And to that point, the way you guys have it structured with the scheduling, starting on Monday, you have your lower number ropings to bring people in, and then you progress into the higher number ropings, into the opens, into the breakaways, into the tie down roping, which, South Texas, that's huge down in South Texas.
It is. And I think one of the things that we were able to do that kind of sets this roping apart from most big ropings too, Luke, and you and I talked a little bit, but not a whole lot about this. We were able to go to a bunch of the businesses in the area of South Texas, and we've got the stock charge donated for the breakaway, the tripping, the team roping, and the tie down roping. These cowboys and cowgirls, and it's good at it. The added money's great, and they're going to rope for 100% of their money, and that doesn't happen very often.
No. And like you said, as an athlete, when you could rope at 100% added money and no stock charge, that's huge. The payback, the payoff, the showing up and getting paid to win is obviously increases so much. And that's what it's about. It's about getting these athletes up and down the road and not trying to take advantage of them. I'm going to go through the schedule here real quick. Monday is the 7.5 and the 8.5 and the 9.5 ropings. 3 head fees are $1,000. You could enter twice, limited to one spot, 40 teams entered, right? So this is an opportunity, big fees, but big payback.
We actually upped that to 60 teams because the entries were so strong. Everybody wanted to come. So we capped it at 60 teams on that.
That's amazing. So again, Tuesday, October 21st is your 10.5, 11.5, 12.5. Same setup as the first day.
Right. You bet.
Perfect. Wednesday is the 13, 14, and the 15, which is almost like your open roping, right? The 15 and
pretty
a half.
much, exactly.
You got your 19 and under, and then your 19 and under, 10.5, which I'm getting new to this team roping deal, with having everybody number, you add it together and it equals the number of the roping you could rope in.
Yeah.
But the way it's set up, you don't have it where you have to be a 7 can rope with a 4 or however that works out. It lets these teams match up to have the best possible chance.
It's exactly right. It's, like golf handicapping kind of.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So what is I guess the draw, new to team rope, and if viewers are new to team rope, what is the incentive of that type of number system?
well, so it gives everybody an equal, the idea is to give everybody an equal chance to win money. A guy like me who carries a 4+ card, I'm 59 years old. I can't rope like I used to, but I can enter a, 9, 10, 11 or roping and have a chance to win some money.
Right.
I can't compete in the 14 or 15 anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone, but I can still go rope and have fun.
The 23rd, this is your steer roping, tie down roping, and breakaway qualifier events. Gives these contestants an opportunity, win some money, and qualify to the big show.
Let's just use the tie down, for example. We're going to take the top 35 in the world. We're going to take 5 from the qualifier. We will take 1 from the person that wins the 19 and under tie down, junior tie down roping. And then we have 4 at large that the committee selects for 45 total in the tie down. It's kind of the way that works with our deal.
So has the committee selected those 4?
We have selected 1 for sure. And then we have a meeting tonight actually. And Caleb Schmidt was the one that's been selected for sure.
Oh, perfect. Well, you can't ask for a better guy than Caleb Schmidt. Now we're about a week away from the start of this event. So knowing those guys, knowing that they're going to get to be selected and run at such huge money, is as a retired athlete, I always loved knowing when I was able to go compete for big money. Houston, when I won it, I had a 3-year buy into it. So whenever you can sit back and go, hey, I don't have to qualify, but I still got a chance at that big money.
That's exactly right. I mean, and the money has gotten so much better in rodeo, and with the Cowboy Channel, with rodeo on TV and more, it's becoming, it's not mainstream yet, but it's becoming more mainstream, and we're able to get more sponsors and people involved in this. And you did it for a living. It's hard to go up and down the road and make a living. It's expensive. But if we can do things to help these cowboys and cowgirls and bring this stuff to the table and where they can rope for more money. And what I didn't mention a while ago to Luke, and I want to make sure I mention this, the second thing we wanted to do after we put on the best event we could for the cowboys and cowgirls, we're a 501(c), and 100% of our proceeds go back to the youth of Uvalde and surrounding counties in South Texas. And most of you will know Uvalde a couple of years ago had the horrible school shooting. It was such a bad deal, and the youth in this town need help, and we want to give back as much as we can.
Yeah, well, that's so important. And I think the sport of rodeo, any really Western type sports or anything in our industry is all about giving back to the youth, giving back to community. And I think that's what is the big draw to our industry is we're able to give back to what we believe in.
And that's the kind of people the rodeo people are, and that's why I've always been drawn to it. It's why I love the rodeo way of life. That's why I try to give back as much as I can, and it's why I stay involved.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going to have more with Bart Hutton and the South Texas Showdown.
Right now, Haven's on go with us, and we hope it stays that way.
Well, if for some reason Haven's not able to, you got a list of some stud stars that you could put up against Shad Mayfield. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. I'm here with Bart Hutton. Like I mentioned before, a man with many hats, but what we're talking about now is the South Texas Showdown 2025. Bart, the things you guys are doing, unbelievable. We went through the schedule all the way up to Friday, and that's October 25th. This is the Invitational Team Roping and sponsored by 3S Services, Brandon and Farrell Webb. And we talked off camera about how important to have people like Brandon and Farrell are in this industry.
When we decided to have this, I went to Brandon. I said, Brandon, we want to do this stuff, and we need some added money to make this work. And I said, would you be interested would 3S step up and maybe do $25,000 and help us get this roping started? He said, Bart, I think it's going to take more than that to get them down here and get this thing going. Let's do $50,000 and get this thing going and get this thing started and raise some money for the kids. Brandon and Farrell Webb have been unbelievable, and they are the most important thing. When we kicked this off, we couldn't have started any of this without 3S Services and Brandon and the whole Webb family and all the 3S family.
Yeah, and you speaking on how important sponsors are, they've been very impactful for this event. And you have the go round sponsored by CE Barker and Sons. Again, another necessary sponsor you have to have.
Yeah, bring it in, make the go rounds pay more, just step up for the whole thing. Just it's all about the cowboy and the cowgirls. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Well, Saturday, October 25th is your 19 and under tie down roping, 2 and a shorts, and then you move on, and then the winner gets invited to the Phil Lyon calf roping. How cool is that for a 19 and under to have an opportunity to rope against the big dogs?
Yeah, I mean that's a great opportunity to step in and rope at the Phil Line calf rope. Phil they had the Phil Line roping for many years here in Uvalde. Phil went to the junior college here and everything else, and then it went away for I don't know 10 or 15 years or something. And I went to Phil last year and I said, "Hey Phil, could we bring this back?" He said, "Bart, I'd love to. We'll support you any way you can." And him and his wife Sarah Kay have been so helpful on all of this.
Yeah, it's again, you have a guy like Phil's name tagged to something, you
Oh
know it
yeah,
means something.
that's right.
One of the greatest hands that ever, entered the rodeo arena.
Yeah, work both ends of the arena.
Yep. Yeah. Linderman. I mean, it didn't matter. Phil was a cowboy through and through, like I said, both ends of the arena. And then also Saturday, you have the Roy Angermiller Invitational Steer Roping, something that, steer roping is usually a one-off event. These rodeos, in Texas and other places are kind of keeping it involved. But to be able to have one here at your event, pretty big.
Yeah, it's a great deal. So Roy Angermiller, who we named this event after, was the rodeo coach at Uvalde Junior College for I'm gonna think it's 33 years, I think is what it was. But he's also an 8-time national final steer roping qualifier. And so we went to Roy and said, "Hey, we want to have this." And he said, "Oh, I want to be involved and we want to help any way you can." I said, "No, you don't understand, Roy. We want to make this the Roy Angermiller steer rope." And he goes, "Are you serious?" And him and his wife and his daughter have been and his family have been real instrumental in this as well.
Yeah, and again, for somebody to hear that, I mean, that just had to bring so much joy to him. Like, hey,
Sure.
you name this
Yeah,
after me.
great guy. And the steer roping was great last year.
Yeah, looking forward to that again. All right, Sunday the 26th, the girls' invitational breakaway roping, top 35 in the world.
Yes. And last year the breakaway was great. Maddie Dearman was our champion last year, and she roped phenomenal and paid great. We're going to do the same thing in the breakaway. Top 35 in the world, 5 from the qualifier, and then we're going to probably do 5 invites as well and go with 45.
Wow, that's so impressive. And then right after that, the Phil Line Invitational calf roping, and then the showdown match roping between Haven Medjed and Shad Mayfield, 2 of the legends right now in the sport of tie down roping.
Yeah, their match was really good last year. Haven missed one early, and he just, the last 6 calves, unless Shad would have made a big mistake, he was going to have a hard time catching up. But Haven roped those 6 calves like it was the last 6 he was ever going to rope. He never quit, even though he was behind. And then Haven and Shad roped phenomenal in that match. And then Haven won the actual roping, won the Phil Line roping. So it was a deal. Now we are battling a little something on this, and we'll know more. Haven's got a bad back.
Yeah.
And he actually was out all of July because of that. And we're hoping that his back will hold up so he can rope this match. If not, we're going to bring in somebody who's another superstar that'll match. But right now, Haven's on go with us, and we hope it stays that way. We wish him luck and hope his back keeps getting better.
Well, if for some reason Haven's not able to, you got a list of some stud stars that you could put up against Shad Mayfield. And
exactly.
I've enjoyed watching the tie down roping as much as ever between, Shad, Riley Webb, Haven, even the old cat, Shane Hanchey. They are just going at them. There's some young kids coming up that you're like, wow, can they tie them any faster? And sure enough, they are.
I was telling somebody, I was talking to Mark Weekly, one of my business partners, this about a month ago. Some people thought for a while that the tie down was on the way down. I'm telling you right now, the last 2 or 3 years, the tie down is on the way up, and there's a bunch of young guns in there. And it's like the fire is back, and everybody, the fans are fired back up about the calf rope and the tie down again. So it's great.
I think it was Cole Clemens' brother, Brody. He was in, I seen him rope at the Texas High School State Finals,
right?
Made nationals, made the short round at nationals. I think he won nationals. I honestly can't remember, but he was in the short round at Cheyenne. So you have these high school kids that are competing at that high of a level at these pro rodeos and they're, it's not like they're just going in and competing. They're going there competing and winning.
No, they're going there to win. They're not just going there to put their name down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, that's the South Texas Showdown, October 20th through the 26th, Uvalde County Fairplex in Uvalde, Texas. Looking forward to another great successful event for you guys, Bart. We're going to go to break now, but when we come back, I want to talk with Bart Hutton about his businesses and how he keeps rolling. How do you keep yourself, I don't even know how to explain how busy you are.
Every morning I wake up, it's pretty much a fire drill. But,
Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. When I first introduced Bart Hutton, I said a man with many hats, and that's exactly how I feel. It sounds like that's exactly how your wife feels. I mean, so many irons in the fire, I guess you could say. And obviously, we talked about the South Texas Showdown, but you also have the Texas Farm Store, Texas Ag Equipment, H4 Ranches, All Cat Claim Services, and Oasis Outback. Bart, how do you keep yourself, I don't even know how to explain how busy you are.
Luke, it's every morning I wake up, it's pretty much a fire drill. But
right.
I think that's the way I'm wired. I think that's the way I like it. And about 3.5 years ago, we sold the majority of All Cat Claim Service, and I thought I was going to back off and slow down a little bit. Well, then I had a chance, and we invested in three different businesses here in Uvalde, and I think I'm busier than ever. My wife's involved. My youngest son's at Texas A&M. He's fixing to graduate in May. But my oldest son, Ryan, is real involved, and he's helping run the Texas Ag Equipment with the Kubota dealership and the Polaris dealership. We're hoping to build these things up and leave them to our boys when we're done.
Yeah, and I got a picture with my folks and I in front of some Kubota equipment you sent up to us that we got, and we're in need of some hay and equipment, and haven't been so happy with the way everything's worked out. And Texas Ag has been huge as far as giving back and being influential in the industry.
Real quick note, I know we're on timeline here, but it's funny now. Your dad is buys some equipment from me. When 25 years ago, he used to buy saddles and tack from me when I was in another business at the National Finals Rodeo.
He tells that story. He said, I can remember going up to Bart 25 years ago and buying stuff from him.
It's exactly right.
Yeah. And that was stuff he probably gave me for Christmas. So
I've always been a huge John Branquinho fan.
Yeah. So Texas Farm Store. I know you guys got feed stores kind of scattered around there. And anywhere from feed to medicines for livestock and anything in between.
Yeah, pretty much that. We do a lot of custom blends and mixes. We're real big in the deer feed business. We sell a lot of deer feed and protein and deer corn, and we're big in that. But we're big in the cattle industry as well, and the company just continues to grow.
All right, and then we're going to go to H4 Ranches, kind of hunting ranches. You guys got cattle, you got horses, a little bit of everything.
So that's a little bit of everything. We're really proud of the horse operation we have going on, and Billy Jack Saban's been riding one of our mares and done really well in the fraternities, and then we raise a lot of replacement cattle, a lot of F1 Tiger Stripe cattle and Brangus cattle, and then we have a full-blown hunting ranch down here, whitetail and exotics.
Yeah, and that's just on the website, which we'll post it up here for everybody to have a look. That is such an amazing place you guys got there.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to come down and see us sometime.
Absolutely. We're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going to wrap up with Bart Hutton, and we're going to talk some Oasis Outback. Absolutely. We're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going to wrap up with Bart Hutton, and we're going to talk some Oasis Outback. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Bart Hutton. Bart, before we went to break, I mentioned Oasis Outback. I'm going to put it up there. The website's going up. You guys check it out because this place has everything you need as far as hunting, archery, rifles. It is the store you need to check out.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat store, and it's pretty well known all over the state of Texas and even outside of the state of Texas. When we bought the store, the name it's everybody that hunts and stuff in Texas and even Florida, Louisiana, everywhere knows Oasis Outback. We called it a mini Cabela's with a really good restaurant in it.
I did see that, the restaurant on, and we've been working together with Judge there, trying to get Payment Cowboys hooked in with you guys, and I've learned a lot about it. That place looks amazing. The restaurant looks good. The food looks amazing.
The food's good. It's really good. We got, and it brings a lot of people through the business. And but we have a full line of hunting stuff, and it's anything outdoors we carry.
I do got to ask before we let you go, that picture above you, Pendleton, Oregon, just got over a few weeks ago. That's one fun place.
One fun place. I roped there one time in '97 with Scott Baker, and it was I still tell everybody the hill was a little bigger back then. When you come off that hill and you hit that grass, it got a little nervous.
Well, Bart, I can't thank you enough for joining us. And everybody, again, please check out everything Bart's got going on. The South Texas Showdown, October 20th through the 26th, 2025 in Uvalde. Also, check out the Farm Store, Texas Egg Equipment, H4 Ranches, All Cat Claim Services, and Oasis Outback. Bart, thank you again.
Luke, thanks for having me.